Greetings, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Alignment. Today's message is simple, but it may be one of the most important conversations we've ever had. Today, I want to talk about remembering who you are, not who they said you were. Not who the trauma convinced you that you were, not who your mistakes told you that you were, who you really are. Because one of the greatest tragedies in life is not losing a relationship. It isn't losing money. It isn't losing status. It is losing yourself. Many survivors don't realize that is exactly what happened. See, you spent so much time surviving that you forgot who you were before survival became necessary. Do you know what Mufasa told Simba? Do you know? He told him, remember who you are. Not become somebody else. Not find somebody else. Remember. Because the king was always there. The identity was always there. The power was always there. He simply forgot. And some of you listening today have forgotten too. You have forgotten as well. But I need you to hear me. You are not broken. You are not damaged goods. You are not beyond repair. You are not the names that they called you. You are not the labels that they placed on you. You, and this is important, you are not the mistakes that you've made. And you are definitely not the worst thing that ever happened to you. See, you are something far greater than that. You are a human being with purpose, with value, and with potential. And today we're going to remember that. See, the world benefits when you forget who you are. Manipulators, let me say that again. Manipulators benefit. Abusers benefit. Fear benefits. Doubt benefits. Chaos benefits. Because if you remember who you are, you become difficult to control. If you remember who you are, you become difficult to control. See, a person who knows their value is hard to manipulate. A person who trusts themselves is hard to deceive. A person who remembers who they are is hard to intimidate. My grandfather used to tell me, you can't lose what you never had, and you can't keep what isn't yours. Think about that. Think about that. Many people are out there grieving an illusion of who they thought someone was, an illusion of who they hoped someone would become, an illusion of a future that never, ever actually existed. And I get it. That is painful. But I got to tell you something else, and you've heard this before. But the truth sets you free. The truth may hurt. The truth, sometimes it may disappoint. The truth may force you to let go. But the truth is still your friend. I release the illusion and embrace the truth. I release the illusion and embrace the truth. Say that with me. I release the illusion and I embrace the truth. My value is not determined by someone else's ability to see it. My worth is not determined by someone else's inability to Appreciate it. See, I refuse to shrink so others can feel comfortable. Let me ask you a question though. What is one thing you used to love about yourself before life got complicated? Before the trauma, before the heartbreak, before the self-doubt. What did you love about yourself? Take a moment and think about that. Now, here is a statement that some people will not like. It's going to rub some people the wrong way. The narcissist did not steal your power. Let me say this again. The narcissist did not steal your power. You, and this is where it hurts, you loaned it out. And if you loaned it out, you can take it back. That's the good news right there. That right there is the good news. Because if they stole it, you would need their permission to get it back. But if you gave it away, you can reclaim it today. Think about Neo and the Matrix. You know the Matrix is my favorite movie. The entire movie changes the moment he stops asking, what if I'm not the one? And starts accepting, I am the one. See, some of you are waiting for permission. Some of you are waiting for permission to heal, permission to move on, permission to be happy, permission to stop explaining yourself, permission to stop carrying everybody else's emotional baggage. It's getting heavy. I know it's getting heavy. Permission to choose peace. Here it is. You have permission. You have permission. You have permission to heal. You have permission to move on. You have permission to be happy. You, and yes, I'm talking to you. You have permission to stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Say this, repeat after me. My power was never lost. It was forgotten. I trust myself again. I choose peace over permission. I am no longer available for confusion. Where in your life have you been waiting for permission instead of making a decision? Think about that. See, most people spend their entire lives, staring into the rearview mirror, looking at the betrayal, looking at the disappointment, looking at the mistakes, looking at the pain. But have you ever noticed that a windshield is larger than a rear view mirror? And that's for a reason. Because, and I'm going to tell you, and you've heard this before, because where you're going matters more than where you have been. Your future deserves more attention. Your future deserves more attention than your past. Your dreams deserve more attention than your disappointments. Your purpose, your very purpose, deserves more attention than your pain. The great thing about healing is that you don't need to become perfect. You simply need to become available for your future. Rocky Balboa said, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Forward, not perfect. Forward, not flawless. Forward, not finished. Forward, That's what's important. That is why our movement exists. N.O.W. No other way but forward. The Now movement. The Now movement, because my future deserves my attention. I am moving forward. I am becoming stronger every single day. The best chapters of my life. The best chapters of my life have not been written yet. If fear disappeared for the next 24 hours, what would you do? What dreams would you literally pursue? What conversations would you have? What decision? What decision would you finally make? Think about that. Now, as we begin wrapping up, I want you to imagine something. Imagine meeting with the younger version of yourself. The version before the trauma, before the heartbreak, before the confusion, before the betrayal, before survival mode became your normal. What do you think your younger version would think of you today? I think they'd be proud that you survived. Proud that you refuse to quit. Proud that you are still standing. Proud that you're still fighting for your peace. Proud that after everything you've been through, you are still here. Maybe, and just maybe healing isn't becoming someone new. Maybe healing is coming home. Coming home to your values. Coming home to your purpose. Coming home to your dreams. Coming home to your identity. Coming home to yourself. I remember who I am. I deserve peace. I deserve clarity. I deserve healthy relationships. I deserve a future bigger than my pain. I choose me. See, the world has enough people trying to become somebody else. But I'm going to tell you something. What the world needs, what it needs is more people willing to become themselves. Remember, please, remember who you are. Remember your value. Remember your strength. Remember your purpose. Remember your future. And I need you to remember this. Healing isn't becoming someone else. Healing is remembering who you were before the world convinced you to forget. Thank you so much for spending part of your Sunday with me. If today's message spoke to you, I invite you to explore the decoder, the guided meditations, the workshop replay vault, and the growing healing library inside the Real Talk Inner Circle. Because I'm going to tell you something. Listen, healing was never meant to happen alone. It wasn't. That's why Real Talk Inner Circle exists. As always, stay powerful. Love you guys.